So we already finished the SAR introduction. I just give you some very simple example. If you really want to know all the detail, you just can use this command called man. Man, you may know that I just call it menu or the help from the command. You can see you can support a lot of different parameter. But sometimes if you know the command I introduced it to you, it should be enough for the basic troubleshooting. Like you can just use SAR-N to monitor the network, and SAR-Q to monitor CPU, and SAR-B to monitor the hard disk, for example. And the other very useful command called unload. This will monitor your network information, like how many bytes be sent and copy, right? You can maybe you already be notified that a lot of command, there's some functions overlap each other, but I still want you to know all of this one, because when you do troubleshooting, some command will give you more information, right? So you can see this when I type in unload again, it didn't so this command already be installed. Again, here we need to install yarn dash install dash y. Because this unload is come from not official repository of the CentOS, so we need to install some special repository first. For the detail of the repository, I will cover in a later class. So here we install this special resources source first. After we install the repository, then we begin to install the real unload package. Otherwise, if you directly install unload, you will go for the default CentOS repository, which don't have this unload command, so you result some fail. So after we install this, add this special repository, we use the yarn install -y unload. From here, we can begin to download this unload from this repository and begin the installation. So here you can see unload already be successfully installed. So we can type in the command. You can see now after unload be successfully installed, we can use the unload to monitor the network status right now. So you can use the right arrow key and left arrow key to switch, right? You can see, pay attention to here, okay? I use right or left. You can, currently I only has one loopback. Also one is the rear wingneck. So you can see how many in the past about, I'm not sure what's the timeline, but currently loopback. Let's go to the this rear neck car. You can see currently is how many KB per second. Average is how many, and minimum and maximum is how many. This means total how many megabytes already be transferred through this neck card already. So this is for incoming, and that second for outgoing, right? So here just give you some full view of your network activity. When you finish this one, remember this is real time. You can see every 1 second maybe you keep an update. When you finish, just use the Q to quit. Can quit this unload command. The other is called the IO stat, is for the hard disk the status. IO stat usually you need to use yarn to install, but remember when we install the SAR, we will install a big package called stat, right? So when we install the stat, you not only install the SAR, also install this IO stat. So you can use this command to check this hard disk information. Again, you can, if you want to monitor to real time, and you can just use this parameter, mean every 1 second you refresh 1 time, total refresh 3 times. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, then down, right? Here you can see how many KB be read, how many KB be write, right? So because currently we only have one hard disk, which is SDA. I put everything into the one VMDK virtual hard disk. So you can see this SDA, this one, how many the usage here. Also here you can see the CPU again, percentage user space, system space, idle time, right? So these three should at about 100%, right? Also some how many IO weight. IO weight is 0, which is a good sign. That means our net, our IO, our hard disk is not the net bottle layer, so it's good. And if we want to see more information, the other parameter called X, you can give you more information. You can see there's more column here. So the most important thing is here, utility. It means how many percentage your hard disk or your IO device is on BG. So 0.25 is very good. So that means your hard disk almost is idle layer. When you see this is 100 or over 50%, that means you need to pay attention to it. That means your hard disk is very busy in the read and write. They don't have enough idle time. So in that case, you may need to think about you need to add more hard disk to load sharing the traffic. And but sometimes when you see it's very busy, maybe over 50%, you want to find out which program is using the IO, the hard disk. In that time, you need to use an important command called IO top. This one just likely top. Top will focus at CPU and memory, and IO top focus at the hard disk. Again, you can see when you first time type in a top, then you cannot see anything because by default it's not installed. So let's ask to install IO top again. So use the same command, right? So you can see Yarn go to the repository and download the necessary package. The package in the CentOS, they usually to be RPM, right? RPM, this is CentOS or Red Hat default package manager. Yarn just a tool to go to the repository to download the RPM and install in your local disk. In the Ubuntu, usually they call it db.deb, right? They use the pkg to install it, but also use the apt-get. It's similar concept anyway here. So after you install this IO top, now you can begin to see all information. You can see this one is very similar as the top. This one will also be updated every 1 second. So here you can see which one is use the more IO, right? You can again use the shift great, right? Command, and sorry, you can use the pay attention to here. You can use the left key arrow or right arrow key to switch the different column, and so the IO top will sort based on different column layer. So you can see which command is used the most IO. This is use the descending sort the column here. Okay, when you finish, just still use the Q to quit the real-time information. Next one is called free. Free just means how many is focused at the memory, right? We have some physical memory. All the virtual memory assigned to it is 1.8, is 2 gig actually. A swap is a system by default use block in the hard disk to provide a backup for the physical memory. In case the physical memory is not enough, some information will be temporarily stored in the swap partition. But this one for sure, because hard disk speed is very slow. So if you find out you use too much, that means you need to expand your physical memory. In our case, it's 0 because we haven't installed any services yet, so it's a good sign. And here you can see totally 1.8 gig. How many be used? How many be free? How many is be This one used by user program. This by system use some algorithm for some buffer and cache, right? So if you how many available, right? So you can add this column. The total number should be the total. By default, I use the unit here should be how many KB. It's the same like this one -k. You can see the number is the same. Sometimes you want to use the megabyte to see information, so you can free -n. You can see here, right? Help. You can tell you what's the unit use M or G, right? You can use M to see how many left in the unit of M or G, for example. But sometimes you don't know, just use the -h. Here will give you unit print out, so you have more clear about how many is left, how many used, right? So I would suggest you use the free -h. H means human, maybe, right? It's more readable for human being. So in here you can see how many is totally and how many is left in a megabyte.